Hello, it's Friday, and I'm home, which never happens on Friday, but I'm here. Uh, hi Coco, hi Christy, hi Tara. Yeah, I called your school and I said, hey, so I really want to play Ace Attorney this morning. And Coco, you know Coco, right? Student of yours, big Ace Attorney fan. Yeah, I'm thinking she has an 11 o'clock class. It would be really cool if you canceled it so that she could come watch a stream. And they were like, awesome, yes. Called the professor, hey, you can't have a class today or we'll break your kneecaps. And your professor was like, oh, dang, I want my intact kneecaps. Emails. This is writing an email. We don't have class today. Coco. Yes, no class. Okay, sorry. That's how it went. Tara's right. Tara never lies. Well, to be fair, Tara did say probably, so even less implication. Okay. I am big lazy mode today, but I did just vacuum my entire house, all rooms, all hardwood and carpets, all of it. It's all vacuumed. I even moved around furniture so that I could get up and behind those things. So the house is looking fleek, on fleek. I don't know. That's an old term now, isn't it? I don't even know. Okay. Here we go. Let me know how audio is. Okay. Oh, that's right. We're still doing this.
That on God is one evil man.
I'm so hip with the kids, so hip.
He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So, to do that, he sent his own manager to get...
I don't ever remember what I do for her voice. I don't know.
He sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay?
You are in court, ma'am. There's no such thing as secret testimony in court. Just give Wendy Coco's voice. Coco kind of talks like this. This is gonna be my Coco impression, okay? Oh. So today we're playing a Nancy Drew game that I haven't played yet, and it's gonna be really fun, and I'm really excited about it. I feel like that's kind of how Coco talks. I can only pop in to say hi because I haven't played the Phoenix Wright games and don't want to be spoiled. Hi! I hope you're doing well. That's kind of how I think your voice is. Like, you kind of talk more on like the I wouldn't say like deeper side. Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, you have a lower tone, I think, for a girl, and I don't think that's bad. And I think you kind of have like a swing to your cadence, I guess, is the best way that I can say. No, I don't think you sound dead inside. But I think you do have like a lower tone, and you kind of have like it's almost like the only way I can even describe it is like in a music term. You kind of have like a 6/8 swing to it. I don't know if you don't know anything about music, but like a 6/8 time signature. You kind of have like a swing like that. Okay. The defendant and his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court.
What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant?
Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? I never said the word dead, you did. Should I close my... Am I getting too much backlight? Is that better? Echo. Turn on the bedside lamp. I don't know if that made any difference, but... We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will toward the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now.
That's right! On Guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth.
Well, as the old saying goes, you gotta burn old bags with fire. Is that a saying? I don't think that's a saying. All right. I think I'm very confused. So if we're talking about gossip, I feel like Lotta's camera might be the thing here. Right? I just went to look for Coco's VODs to hear voice, and yes, it's on the deeper end. See? I don't want to have anything in common with her. Then I guess you can't like Miles anymore. I'm sorry. I bet it's hard. I'm gonna go with this. Oh, wait, what? Oh, maybe I bumped the button by mistake. You're not crusty. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. I liked it before she opened her mouth. Oh, okay. I got confused. I thought I had to present evidence right there.
That On Guard is one evil, evil man.
You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander.
But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with poor Juan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss A.A.
But the name of the magazine this came from is Gossipland.
What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip.
Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that?
Anyway, On Guard will never get me to say touche.
A scandal? What do you mean by that?
You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days?
No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much.
Well, that On Guard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. So, to do that,
okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you for popping in. You don't have any proof that Mr. On Guard did any such thing.
You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth. And now since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right.
You're right, I can't do anything, but boy do I wish I could do something about you. Did someone need British voices? I just realized that I don't give a lot of Ace Attorney characters British voices, and I try to give everybody a slightly different voice. And I mean, I know there's only so many voices that I can, like, pull off, but, yeah. It's 12:35 a.m. I'm tired. Perfect timing for me to go to bed. Dream sweetly. Sleep well. And hello, Ada Fox. How are ya? Okay.
Alright then, Sonny. Show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that On Guard didn't bear any ill will toward Juan?
Can I? I actually don't know if I have any proof. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, let's see. Hello. Good morning. Hi, Jenny. I actually don't know if I have anything. Let's see. I don't know, actually. I guess I'll come back to this if I need to. I don't have anything to offer.
See, just as I thought. And you were lecturing me about saying things without proof. You've just given me a free pass to say whatever I want whenever I want, silly boy.
Me and my big mouth.
That's the way the cookie crumbles for you, anyway. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action.
So what do you mean by I took action?
Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was gonna capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need.
You're going to teach her a good lesson?
I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this!
No, stop! It's like a play. Why is he like, oh no! Stop! I feel like this judge, I don't know if he's qualified. I don't know if this man is qualified.
Well, it was too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night.
Hold up, what? Hold up, what? Hold up, what? Because hang on a second. Okay. She said, it is a shame that woman never came through the door that night. But weren't we told that Adrian was the one who found Juan's body? Because if she was the one that found Juan's body but didn't go through the door, then she would have already been in the room. Yes? I'm trying to put it together. So I got my thinking Pikachu cap on with the Pikas on the inside. See, I have hat hair bad. Okay. I have hairs in my face now. Okay, hang on. Wait.
What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information?
Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it.
Turn the cap around, Ash Ketchum style.
It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out.
How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? If you don't be a good girl, what the flip, Phoenix? What? This woman is like 3 times your age. Why would you say that? In court. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't get to go home today.
Edgy Poo, what are you doing? Help me!
What do I have to do with this?
Just do this for me. You'll get your reward.
I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. And work on me, to be frank. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless babbling. As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did Old Bag get her inside information? There has to be something I can use to figure it out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes her client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find it, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. Okay, so I am fairly confident that she got her information from Lotta. So I am gonna present So no one else is supposed to know the secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag?
Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that!
Witness? I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? I hope this is right. If you have nothing to back up your claims, then they are no more valid than gossip. Oof. Oof. Okay. Witness, please feel free to ignore the defense's gesture of ill will and continue. Oops. Okay, Christy, Coco, other people who may know. Am I on the right track thinking that Lotta and the camera have something to do with this? Or am I chasing down the wrong trail here? Yes, okay, great. Should I present the camera as evidence somewhere along here? Is that what I need to do? Yes, indeedy. Okay. Is it this line? And do I need to go through, like, the press and then present evidence? Or can I just present the evidence right here? Present through the conversation. Okay. I'm gonna try again. The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing. On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
No, I said impressions.
Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless?
Ah, that's it. That's the note.
No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy.
What are you talking about?
Then you're the one who took Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of wands, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with the evil On Guard. She said so herself. On Guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before.
You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just this. Why? Why are we overlooking? She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? I don't like her. I don't want to forgive her. I surely do not. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. Break her kneecaps. I should. Seems legit to me. I know, this is Judge, I swear. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct?
Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible lonely trash can, that's all.
You're lying, dang it, and I can prove it.
Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again?
I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Miss Oldbag, I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. Did she steal the guitar? Did she steal the guitar? I don't know. Did she steal the guitar? Did she steal the knife? Did she steal the button? No, I think she stole the knife or maybe the guitar. I don't know. 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 I don't know what it was. But maybe I'll do this. No, I don't think she would have hurt Juan. Ah! I do think she would have framed on guard, but I don't think she would have hurt Karita. Did she steal the camera? The camera was stolen on the night of the murder. I've just been drinking paint thinner, for sure. Hi, Puffy. Miss Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, "My sweetie, $1,600 camera disappeared on me." Why, witness.
What is it, Gramps?
If you have the note, then it is only logical that you have the camera too.
Cough. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for?
Okay, Puffy, I hope you have a good day today. Thanks for popping in. That's...
What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people.
What is she talking about? I think your definition of borrow is a little off.
I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, "Slime Bag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire." Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she'd taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things.
Bailiff, check the camera's photos, hurry. We must examine them at once. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. Okay. This is the Nickel Samurai. Okay, hang on. I gotta absorb. All right, so the spear thing is not present. Arm gloved. Coming out of Rat's room. Oh wait. No. The flowers were on Juan's room. So looks like coming out of Juan's room. I think the judge would be pretty chill with physical violence. I mean, he lets Franziska von Karma whip everybody in the court with an actual whip, so... This is the Nickel Samurai.
See, I told you, that's the guy I saw.
This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. No, it doesn't. That doesn't prove that she wasn't lying. What does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? Can I look at the other pictures, please? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in its own confession, Mr. On Guard clearly stated that At the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume.
If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is...
the defendant. Yes, but we don't know that he's the murderer, perhaps.
How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We've examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright. The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client?
If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then it would put Maya's life in jeopardy. What if Maya channeled like a big burly fighter man, and perhaps we don't get the acquittal on Matt today, but she could be big buff man, and then she could pow 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 and get out of there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just an idea. I could totally write a case in a Ace Attorney game. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's... good thing, just like in real life, we can save and reload if we mess up. Yeah. I have to say there's something strange with it. There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right?
Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There is no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster.
Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, please look at the photo one more time.
If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. This is a fan game that's coming soon. You can make your own Phoenix Wright cases. Well, I know what my summer project is. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts?
Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange?
Okay. All right. I don't know. Is your summer project making an AT's music video at the beach? No, that was my project for last year that I never even thought about again. I mean, I'd love to, ideally. I have such a great idea, I think, for one, but I can't. I mean, I just haven't. I need a budget. Okay, I genuinely don't know what I'm doing here. Let me think. Pants too long? Is that what it is? Pants too long. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I would like to direct this court's attention to this one area right here.
What are you pointing at? His ankles?
If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't.
And what does that mean?
The costumed person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard.
What is the meaning of this?
I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Whoa!
I've read every single book that gal's ever written.
Objection. That cap was not a murder weapon, even though it killed at the fashion show.
Thank you. 78 months of subs. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Moocher. How you doing? Okay, yeah, here we go. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama.
His socks. You can see his socks.
Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There is only one explanation for this. The person inside the costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack, then I haven't damaged his case at all?
Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not met on guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless.
I figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not met on guard. In that case, who is that a photo of? Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm?
Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person?
Oh shoot, I couldn't save it fast enough. Alright. I'll have to go through some dialogue if I get this wrong, so. Wendy said, "It's a shame she didn't come through that door." I think it was Adrian. And Wendy didn't know that she didn't come through the door because she was dressed as the Nickel Samurai. Plus, she'd have access to it.
Adrian Andrews.
If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it's none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Onguard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Onguard that night.
And how does that all add up?
It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Onguard's fingerprints all over it.
The knife that was used as a murder weapon.
Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Carita. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. I wonder why.
Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony.
Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day? Oh! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya...
Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow.
What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court.
Now then.
Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today.
I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she's not...
I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial.
But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development.
Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor.
And what do you mean by that?
That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all that happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What?
What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by that man? Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly.
Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But continue. March 22nd was the day I saw Stray Kids last year. Okay.
Dude, I can't believe that Adrian... No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews.
She's your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her.
So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time.
How is he sleeping with a metal arm under his head?
See, she could have easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one who came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it really was her?
Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Carita.
But why? I thought she was buds with Juan.
She has her own agenda.
Her own agenda? What are you talking about?
I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today.
Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer did?
Phoenix, you think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it. Is Juan Carita the victim of this murder? And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Carita, all to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But also mean! He thought she liked him. And she was like, nah, I just gotta get the suicide note back. Friends, you should not date someone just to get back a suicide note. It's not okay to play with people like that. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts. It was Edgeworth. Hold up. Now you tell me. Well, it's better to learn than to never know at all. It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. What if they're cute? I still can't condone it. Why date someone if it's not to play with them? Don't even... I'm crying. Don't cry. Just look up at the sky and think. It's a beautiful... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, we're going back to court. Court will now reconvene. Okay then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court, Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime, in Mr. Juan Carita's room. Sky and cry are like barely rhymes, I think. Well, I guess they are, because the I. But what's your occupation?
I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard.
It's a beautiful day to date someone to get back a note.
I see now then.
Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request.
Yes, sure. What is it?
I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. And would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently.
No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland.
If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim.
Yes, I was seeing Mr. Carita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself.
So it was a fry and bait matter, or was that a bait and fry?
Reminds me of fishing. I date my wife so we can play Minecraft. I see no flaw in that. Well, until we get kids and I can play with them also. Okay, well, if you're playing Minecraft, I'll accept it.
But
But I didn't kill him.
No one is accusing you of that.
I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews.
Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder had taken place.
It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice.
Hold up! Hang on a second. Let me recreate this. Let me recreate this real quick. Okay, we're ready? Oh no! A dead body! I'm kinda thirsty. Oh, I'm so shocked! What the heck? What? What? You poured yourself a glass of juice.
Yes, sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime, and I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing.
And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor?
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Phoenix? She's one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant that this trial is over, understand? Nope, I don't. And what was Mr. Ongard doing at the time?
He was taking a nap.
He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. Ongard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you... Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Ongard's knife from his room?
No.
Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue.
After that, I went to Juan's room.
And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon, what are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? You were in shock. What? Was I not supposed to be? She's a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock, and you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not.
I see.
This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then what did you do next, witness? Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I'd like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Carita, you were in great shock, and that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That's that one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over.
Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards.
It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Hold up! If it fell onto the guitar case, then there would be glass inside the guitar case, because she just said that the guitar case was open and empty, just like it is in the photo. So if she knocked it onto the case, then it wouldn't have been on the floor, or at least part of it would have been in the case.
Why did you withhold such an important piece of information?
I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess.
It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would just... I'm confused. I'm so confused. If it was heavy, then just a simple knock of the elbow should not have knocked it off, correct? Unless she went pow like this, but then I feel like it would have knocked over the juice as well. Like, if it was like this, and she was like reaching like this, and went like this, I could see that, but then I would think that it would sweep the juice as well. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse, so I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser, and that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality.
That's a good line.
It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. I have to find something. I just have to, for Maya's sake. Alright. I think... Objection! Hi, Oscar. And I'm gonna save right here. And I'm going to present the crime scene photo because she says it fell into the guitar case. Please be correct. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over, is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem, it's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside.
That's very true.
Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case.
And what is that?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Ah! What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be, however, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It proves she lied! It proves she lied! I feel like that's enough of a reason. It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Yes. The empty guitar case. I believe that this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. Like lying matters in AA court. I can't believe I'm doing this either. All right, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Okay, hang on a second. Another problem. Okay. Alright, we're doing another reenactment. Okay. Alright. This is the guitar case. We knock the vase onto the guitar case. Ah, shatters. That's why it's wet. But then, if you open the guitar case like this, you would think all of the glass would be on the back side of the guitar case. But instead, in the picture, it's sitting in front of the guitar case. This is not making... This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using anyway to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man. I think, ma'am, you're a dirty, rotten liar. A dirty liar. A dirty, rotten liar. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I'm sure you were. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see, are you sure you are the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. Now imagine being in the audience of the court whispering liar to the jury. It's giving Miss April May as a big fat liar. Fat? So you opened the guitar case then? Yes. Well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Karita's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witnesses said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic... Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the see, okay, hang on. Now film student brain is kicking in, because a prop as important as the guitar, you would definitely have multiples of that. Because if anything happened to it during, like, filming, it's not like you could just go get It's not like you could wait 2 weeks for another to be made and, you know, strung and all of these things. Like, you would have multiples of that. That's a very important prop to the character of the Jammin' Ninja or whatever his name was. So I would be shocked if there was only one guitar. I would think there would be multiples. You know, you have one to take for events like this. You have 2 that stay at the studio or whatever it may be. These trials would be over in half the... I mean, maybe that's not accurate to the game here, but I think in real life that would be.
Just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright.
Sorry. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not gonna get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix, we can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record. Pardon me. Waiting to be found. Alright. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Also, call me crazy. Call me crazy. But doesn't that bottle of what has been called tomato juice, doesn't that look pretty full? It doesn't really look like a glass has been poured out of it, does it? I don't know what makes sense here. I'm gonna use this again. Nope, that's not right. There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Oh, because the fingerprints. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Ah. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? She was in the Nickel Samurai costume with the gloves on, and she killed him, and she did it, and she admitted it. Well, Judge, I think we're done here. Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the awards ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember, I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yes, this. I have your proof right here, this wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Tell the customers to get the heck out. You're watching a stream. I'm just kidding. Order, order, order! Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here, but it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was the bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court toward an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... No, Your Honor, please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you're so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. I am the savingest attorney. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to... So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, Wright? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Inflate that head of yours, you haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? What if it was the transceiver? Okay, we know it's not Lotta's camera or the clipping, because those were together and Old Bag already was proven to have taken that. I don't think it would be a photo of the Nickel Samurai. I don't think it would be a photo of the hotel. I don't think it would be a crime photo, because that don't make sense. I don't think it would be the button either, or any of these reports. I don't think it would have been Lotta's photo. I don't think it would have been the knife. The juice is apparently on the thing. It's got to be one of these two things. I'm an attorney. Alright, we'll see. Okay, that was a okay. Now I am confused. Was the suicide note in there? Nope. No, I don't want a hint yet. I want to figure it out. Thank you for the offer, but I'm good. Okay, I am confused, but... I've given everything. I'm confused now. I presented everything. It couldn't have been the... It can't be the photo. It can't be the autopsy. Can it be a person? Celeste's body is shoved in there. Yeah, now I'm really confused because I presented all the evidence. Alright, I guess I'm just starting at the beginning. What? But Maya gave me this. This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important was that is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture, It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is, inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? What? How was I supposed to put that together?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. But then that still doesn't make sense to me because she would still be ungloved when she opened the guitar case, so her fingerprints should be on it. She would only be gloved after opening the case. In the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo? Order, order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guard's. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places?
True. This is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts.
You know my strategy. Reload, reload, reload. It was a spare costume. Mr. On Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one.
What? Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case?
It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose.
But why? The victim, Mr. Kirito, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just...
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was... The Nickel Samurai is to confess something after the post-ceremony stage show. On the night of the murder after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference.
Press conference?
Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can only mean one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Carita himself. Rewind to relive reenactments, thank you.
The victim?
Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Carita was going to hold the press conference as the nickel samurai. Why you always lying? He was gonna dress up as the nickel samurai and hold a conference.
But why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The nickel samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Carita, posing as the nickel samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's a public disclosure.
Miss Andrews?
I can see why you are pros at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan.
Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You?
Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway.
He was going to ruin him, huh?
It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed.
What? And do you know what this secret of Mr. Onguard's is, Miss Andrews?
That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
I see.
I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone, but that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all.
Protect Mr. Onguard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife, but I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him.
You are still lying. This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type.
Rub that smirk off your face, ma'am, before I hit it off for you.
We're finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright.
Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. After this stream, I really, really want a cup of tea with some honey. And maybe read my book a little bit. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. Okay, hang on. We gotta press. Would you say that that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. Ugh. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach her this. Okay. You want to just put her upstairs? Just keep her upstairs with me? Okay. In about half an hour. Unless you want to just bring her up. Blue! Blue puppy! They didn't teach us that in school. teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on guard. And you knew of this plan?
Hi, Boo Puppy. Hi. Hi, Boo Puppy. Hi, girly. Hi, girly. Hi, girly. Hi.
Come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Okay, bye. I was gonna show her to you, but
Come here. Come here. Come see the people. Come here. Sit. Sit. Good girl. Let me show you. The big girl. It's a big girl. Hi, people. Hi, people. Hi, people. Hi, people. Oh, yeah. I'm lovers. Okay. Yeah, puppy.
good girl. She kinda cute, I don't know. Yeah, Blue, we need your clues.
Blues, cluesies.
Okay.
And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews?
Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing is that this information was not in your testimony.
Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you please.
Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Carrito with his press conference, and that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out. The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking helping the victim with his plan is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover up for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time.
I keep trying, but I find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however.
The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
You're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hakama, is that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence.
Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes?
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this as information to your testimony.
That button was torn off Juan during his fight with Matt. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. As expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really, because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now, but you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief.
I'm gonna pin you down this time, Miss Andrews.
Let me look at something. So, where is the button? Button still seems to be there. Sorry, hang on. I've got a gabillion text messages. Okay. So, is the button somewhere else? Is it this? This is the button, right? Hmm. I'm confused. Never make a mistake. I don't know. Oh, did I not press everything? When the ends of the thread of the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly, so I heard that before too. Don't look at me like that just because I'm prepared and you're not. Okay. So I didn't press the other two lines, I think. Hi, Disney. What you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? and at the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. On Guard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Kurita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. On Guard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will toward the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour. Philosophical. And please stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Okay. So I think it's the button line, I'm pretty sure. I already tried the photo, I already tried the button. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
And what does that mean?
Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off of the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. Ah, that's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body.
Order, order. What is the meaning?
What is the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know that this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with the button?
What was it? To pin the crime on Guard. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There is no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course.
And the real murderer is?
Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? Finally, I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet, not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is... I hope this is right. Miss Adrian Andrews, I choose you. You are Mr. Kurita's killer.
What? Order, 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 Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge?
Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Ugh. It's Blue and Montana. Got both puppies. Hi, Tana. Both puppies. And my Shrek pants. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is you yet again, Miss Andrews.
I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could have only been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews.
No,
But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case, and it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of the dead body. And to top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. How he would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time.
Miss Andrews?
I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me.
Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves.
What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room.
What's it got? Let me see. Let me see that. What's that? Let me see.
Let me see. Let go.
Some sort of wrapper that she was eating. You can't eat plastics. It's not good for puppy tummies. Okay? I'm sorry.
He's so lawyer.
Adrian Andrews.
Yes?
Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood?
All right. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there is still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence?
What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. He has the suicide note of Miss Impacts.
Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita?
I believe this may lead me to incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering.
But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think?
Maybe so or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we've landed in the worst possible situation. Because of course we would. Blue?
What you doing?
Hang on, let me see what she's getting into.
What you doing, puppy?
Where'd she go? Blue? Oh, there you are. Hi. Okay. I thought she was getting into something. Okay. I'm looking for more plastic.
She being silly. You being silly, puppy?
I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But that's not true! In this situation, there's only one thing this court can do.
Did I just ruin everything?
And that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter, and at tomorrow's trial. Tomorrow.
We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial... Please continue the trial. Wow, why is my hip hurting so bad? What are you sweating for? I got up, and now my hip hurts really bad. I don't know what I did. Ow. Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Oh gosh, Disney, don't even remind me. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya...
But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is...
It is not impossible for this trial to continue.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you...
It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony.
Yes, that's very true, but...
Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Instead of just yelling and using your reaching broom to attend to things. That's what I need for my birthday, a reaching broom. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. Have you seen the Alley Getter commercial? I don't know if I have. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he a friend or foe? I just don't know.
The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please.
Oh, okay. That glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead did not cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. Well, why would you not say that?
So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony?
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours?
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Okay. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Kurita? I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what did you see next, witness? Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Okay, head tilted forward, eyes closed. Let me look at this court record. Okay, at least that matches. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix, and then felt tired after his rampage, decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought.
I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all.
You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state, I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone.
And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice?
Yes, he always has a hard time waking up. So Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink.
I see. And after that, what happened next?
And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward.
And knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened.
Yes. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is your best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh, Miss Andrews? Will you tell us the truth this time? Alright. This is the line that he said. Something was weird, right? Sitting like that, okay, hang on. He was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. I don't know, that doesn't really look like the corner. This is the best thing I think I got. I don't think it's great options, but nope, that's not right. Is this the line I should present evidence on? No. Okay. Is it this line? The line about pouring him juice? And does my theory that doesn't look... Okay. Does my theory about the juice bottle looking really full have to do with anything? No, okay. Is it this line that I should present on? You don't think that this is the line? Okay. I think I just need to know what line I need to present on. Okay. Oh, well that doesn't make any sense because if he had been stabbed, then it would be obvious that he was dead. So it's either this or it's the knife. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Ah! What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Kurita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. Well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted and then so nonchalantly just go pour something to drink. Your point is? Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Ugh. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. No! It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt on guard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible, you're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it, he's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one, this episode, like this whole case, I'm definitely only like halfway through it. So this is my prediction. My prediction is that we get the acquittal for Matt so that Maya doesn't die. And then we find out that whoever kidnapped Maya was like, I don't know, in on it. And so, not to say that Matt is guilty, but I think that I don't necessarily know if Adrian is guilty, but our goal is just to get Maya out. He's always presiding over all these cases, yeah. So I'm thinking that we still have more to do. We still have lots more to do here. You were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. And we still have the whole thing about Francisca being shot this morning. We haven't addressed that. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt on guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt on guard. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. The witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. The absolute real truth? What are you... Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt on guard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie, I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it, I'm too scared. It's Francisca von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Matt on guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging onto them. And what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is to get our not guilty. That's my only priority. It wasn't me, I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone help me. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Okay, cool. Wright, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who is the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that, but I can't bring myself to do it like this, not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. On Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet! How dare you! You're trying to trick me!
That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth.
You're wrong!
What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to court.
Stop.
Mr. Edgeworth? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness.
What?
And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past.
Stop! Please stop!
No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here.
That's
the second part of the suicide report, the attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world.
Please, please stop! I beg you! If people find out, I'll...
If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Yike! Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips, no matter what I have to do. Yike. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me.
I'll talk, but please help me. Nothing matters anymore.
I'm over 2 hours, but I really want to get to the next, official stop part.
When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience, and that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume.
Stabbed the body with the knife? But why would you do that?
Isn't it obvious to pin the blame on a certain person? A certain cowardly man?
What do you mean by all of this? It might take this to court a little while to understand, but this is the truth.
The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time.
Last time? So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim Juan Carita in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime. Thank you, Coco. No, I believe you. How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. When I first saw him, I really thought he had... Okay, repressing. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say you did not know he was dead?
He had a scarf tied around his neck, but that scarf is a part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to poured the juice. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. But Matt said he had no idea about the press conference, right? That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes toward him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then I stabbed Wanstoke. So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and plant it in Mr. Onguard's Hakama? Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Just when I finished and was returning, okay. An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why I ended up, okay. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there.
And what is this secret?
Probably. To Coco, yes, probably. That I don't know. Joey! My Ratatan's in the 1%! Top percent of Ratatan! That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Onguard's room and planted the button.
Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word, what does all this mean?
Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Onguard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk.
Francisca, huh?
She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done, that if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer.
Wait, Your Honor. The defense still...
Right.
It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything.
Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. I actually agree with the judge and Edgeworth.
So I wish that there was some way that... I don't know. What Phoenix needs to do is get Miles help in the whole Maya thing. And be like, look, the reason that I needed to get a not guilty acquittal for Matt is because Maya is kidnapped and she could potentially be very harmed if it was not given. And so while he could just explain his moral dilemma, like he obviously wants justice and truth to be found in the courtroom, but he also wants Maya to be safe. And so he needs help in that regard to keep her safe. Yeah. I see nothing wrong with all of the unlawful things she did and admitted to. You're free to go. I'm not saying that she did something correct. I'm saying that, like, at this point, they can't indict her for the murder of Juan. You sure not, Judge? The cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Dr. Judge, courtroom of horror.
Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning.
Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately.
That is all. Court is adjourned for today.
Today's trial is over, and I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright, I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. And that's the same card that was in the room that Maya is in right now. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body. So she literally has touched and moved and taken from the crime scene. Like, it's basically not the same scene as it was at the time of the crime. They're just completely different. I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Everything has relevance until proven otherwise. Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card if you ask me. She literally redecorated. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why... Witness? That card. Give it to me. Hurry. Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This? I can't believe you hid this from me all the time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card, what in the world is it, and what does it mean? Okay, this is the save point. Okay. Okay, we went for 2 hours and 17 minutes. Woo! Okay, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time. I certainly did. I hope that you also have a wonderful rest of the Friday. Your Friday. And take care of yourselves. Let me actually pop on real quick and see if I want to rate anybody. I haven't rated anybody in a while. Nope. Okay, well, that's fine. You're welcome for the stream. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you all popping in and having fun with me. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.